Hi readers, I'm going to be sharing a new book with you. Some of you might have read this book before. Corduroy. How many of you have read Corduroy before? It's one of my favorites. How many of you have a teddy bear like the main character in our story? Touch your nose if you have a teddy bear at home. What if you have more than one teddy bear? You might have a lot of teddy bears. You might need both of your hands today. Well, Corduroy has a problem in this story. Most characters have problems, and he really wants somebody to buy him. He lives inside of the toy department, kind of like the section in Target where you go to look at all the toys. He lives there, and he really wants a kid to buy him so that he can have a home and someone that will love him and that he can love too. But he's having a really hard time. That's his problem. Now, Corduroy is a toy, so he's going to have some silly ideas in this book that you and I know are silly because we're not toys, but Corduroy gets really confused. So let's find out what happens in our book, Corduroy. Do you see the author's name? It's so fancy. By Don Freeman. Look how fancy that writing is. And there's Corduroy. I don't know, is he on a pillow or a couch? I'm already noticing some picture clues as to what might happen in our story. Here is the title page where it says corduroy. Corduroy is the type of material that the teddy bear wears. Stories and pictures by Don Freeman. It means he is the illustrator and the author. He did both jobs. Corduroy is a bear who once lived in a toy department of a big store. Day after day, he waited with all of the other animals and dolls for somebody to come along and take him home. There he is with some of the other toys. Oh, it looks like the giraffe is sleeping. The store was always filled with shoppers, buying all sorts of things, but no one ever seemed to want a small bear in green overalls. Did you spot him? Such a busy store. That store has an escalator. Then one morning, a little girl stopped and looked straight into Corduroy's bright eyes. "Oh, Mommy," she said, "look! There's the very bear I've always wanted." Are you getting excited for Corduroy? Not today, dear, her mother sighed. "I've spent too much already. Besides, he doesn't look new. He's lost the button to one of his shoulder straps. All my good feelings are gone." Why did the mom say that the girl couldn't get Corduroy? There were two reasons. The first reason was she already spent too much money. Has that happened to you before? Have you gone to maybe even Target and wanted to pick out a toy, and maybe your family said not this time because they didn't have enough money that day to buy another toy? They spent it on food and things that you needed at the house. It's happened to me before. What was the second reason that the mom said no to Corduroy? Yeah, he's missing a button. Hey, I noticed that on the front cover. His overalls are missing a button, so it's like he's broken already, right? Or used. Corduroy watched them sadly as they walked away. Why is he sad, readers? The girl Lisa really wanted to buy him, but he couldn't persuade her to do so. Remember how we worked as persuasive writers? I wonder if he would have had a persuasive sign that would have persuaded the mom to buy him anyways. "I didn't know that I'd lost a button," he said to himself. "Tonight I'll go see if I can find it." Here comes his silly ideas. He's gonna look in this big store for his button. Where do you think he might look first? Let's find out. Late that evening, when all the shoppers had gone and the doors were shut and locked, Corduroy climbed carefully down from his shelf, and he began searching everywhere on the floor for his lost button. Where do you think he's gonna go? Suddenly, he felt the floor moving under him. Quite by accident, he had stepped onto an escalator. Up he went. Could this be a mountain? He wondered. I think I've always wanted to climb a mountain. What is Corduroy's silly idea? What does he think the escalator with the stairs is? A mountain. We know as the reader it is not a mountain. Well, he's still trying to find his button. He sure is being brave, readers. He stepped off the escalator as it reached the next floor, and there, before his eyes, was the most amazing sight. What does he see? Yeah, it looks like a bed department where you can buy all these beds and tables and comfy furniture. Be listening for a silly idea that Corduroy is going to have. Tables and chairs and lamps and sofas and rows of beds. This must be a palace. Readers, is this a palace where you might find a prince? No, this is not a palace. Corduroy gasped. I guess I've always wanted to live in a palace. Another silly idea. First, the escalator was a mountain, and now the bed department is a palace. Silly Corduroy. Such a big fancy house, Corduroy. He wandered around admiring the furniture. Admiring means you are looking at something that you like. So sometimes when you come to school and one of your friends notices that you have something new on, they might admire it. They might go, wow. Or when you make a piece of artwork and somebody likes looking at it, they're admiring your work. They really enjoy it and they like looking at it. This must be a bed, he said. I've always wanted to sleep in a bed, and he crawled onto a large, thick mattress. All at once, he saw something small and round. Why, here's my button, he cried, and he tried to pick it up. But like all the other buttons on the mattress, it was tied down. I don't know if you've ever seen your mattress before because you put your sheets over it, but a lot of mattresses have buttons on them. And he's right there tied down. Look at his face. He's like this. Let me bring it a little bit closer. Poor Corduroy. He yanked and pulled with both paws until pop! Off came the button and off the mattress Corduroy toppled. Look at him falling in the air. Look, there's the button from the mattress. Bang! Into a tall floor lamp. Over it fell with a crash. Oh no, readers. Hope he's okay. Corduroy didn't know it, but there was someone else awake in the store. The night watchman was going on his rounds on the floor above. When he heard the crash, he came dashing down the escalator. So sometimes stores have security guards, and they're calling him a night watchman to make sure that nobody comes into the store when it's closed, right? So he heard Corduroy. Now, who in the world did that? He exclaimed. Somebody must be hiding around here. Wait a minute. Corduroy used to be by the lamp. I wonder where he went. He flashed his light under and over sofas and beds until he came to the biggest bed of all. And there he saw two fuzzy brown ears sticking up from under the cover. Hello, he said. How did you get upstairs? How do you think Corduroy is feeling? He's not smiling. His mouth is kind of open a little down. Do you think his eyes are really big? Do you think he might be a little bit scared or worried? He doesn't know who the watchman is. The watchman tucked Corduroy under his arm and carried him down the escalator and set him on the shelf in the toy department with the other animals and dolls. He looks exhausted. He's been on so many adventures. Corduroy was just waking up when the first customers came into the store in the morning. Look who's back, readers. And there, looking at him with a wide, warm smile, was the same little girl he'd seen only the day before. "I'm Lisa," she said, "and you're going to be my very own bear. Last night I counted what I'd saved in my piggy bank, and my mother said I could bring you home." I wonder why she wants to buy him, even though he's missing a button. What do you think, readers? Would you buy a bear that's missing a button if you loved it so much? "Shall I put him in a box for you?" the sales lady asked. "Oh, no, thank you," Lisa answered, and she carried Corduroy home in her arms. She ran all the way up 4 flights of stairs into her family's apartment and straight into her own room. Corduroy blinked. There was a chair. Do you see the chair? And a chest of drawers. And alongside the girl-sized bed stood a little bed just the right size for him. The room was small, nothing like that enormous palace in the department store. "This must be a home," he said. "I know I've always wanted a home." Lisa sat down with Corduroy on her lap and began to sew a button on his overalls. "I like you the way you are," she said, "but you'll be more comfortable with your shoulder strap fastened." So did she care, readers, that he was missing a button? But she said he might feel more comfortable because maybe his strap is hitting him or falling off. "You must be a friend," said Corduroy. "I've always wanted a friend." "Me too," said Lisa, and she gave him a big hug. How is Corduroy feeling now? Look at that smile, readers. Wow, who helped him solve his problem? Lisa. He no longer has a missing button, and now he has a new friend. Oh, thank you so much for reading with me today, readers. Before we finish Corduroy, let's talk about what were some of the silly ideas that Corduroy had in the story. Do you remember? What did he think the escalator was? A mountain. And what else? Oh, he went into the room with all of the beds and the furniture, and he thought it was a palace, a fancy house. Also, on the mattress, what did he think those were? Buttons for his clothes. They were buttons, but they weren't for clothes. They were for his outfit, huh? Well, I hope you had fun reading with Mrs. Manning today, and we're going to listen to another Corduroy book tomorrow. Bye, readers.